So here's the question. As a real estate investor, how do you build a business that you're excited to show up to every day while you constantly grow your stream of passive income that you and your family can depend on for life without having to leave your computer or even live somewhere that houses are affordable? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. Welcome to the Virtual Real Estate Investing Podcast with your host, Brian Elwood.
What's up, guys? Brian Elwood here, and welcome back to another episode of the show. Things have been crazy busy over here on my end, really exciting. We just launched our membership program, our closed membership group just a couple weeks ago, and we're starting to fill that up. And it's sort of what I've wanted to do for a really long time, is to have a group of people where we come together and learn together about real estate investing and how to create freedom in your life to do whatever it is you want to do every day. And I did want to say that for the first 25 people, I'm letting you in at really dirt cheap price, just in exchange for your feedback. I want you to give me feedback on the program and what it still lacks, in order for you to be able to achieve the result I want for you, which is freedom, like I said. So at the time of this episode airs, it may not be at the rock bottom price it still is, but probably until we're at about 100 members, it's going to be pretty heavily discounted. I'll be waiving a lot of the sign-up fees and things like that. So check it out. The way to learn more about it is to register for one of the upcoming webinars. Virtualinvestingclass.com is how you register for that. And yeah, I hope to see you on there. We've already got about 40 training videos inside of the membership site. We've got a closed Facebook group where you can ask me questions. We do monthly group coaching calls. We hold each other accountable within this group to taking action and really focus the whole thing around what it is that you want to create. What's your vision? What's your lifestyle you're trying to live? Because it's so easy to create a monster that you end up hating in your real estate investing business. Ask me how I know. So, moving on today's episode, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I don't really feel like anyone's articulated it enough to where people understand it. So there's two types of real estate markets that exist. There's cyclical markets and there's linear markets. Now, a cyclical market is usually a market in a city where the incomes are higher, the houses are nicer. It's those cities where everyone's talking about, like Nashville, where I own a lot of properties, is cyclical. Denver, where I live now, is cyclical. A city like Portland or Austin or San Diego or San Francisco, all definitely cyclical. I mean, there's a lot more. I'm just giving you the obvious ones. Coastal towns are often cyclical, and those are where the booms and the busts happen, or the bubbles, as people say, happen. And those markets are great for appreciation if you get the timing right. So most of the net worth that I actually have created has come from investing in cyclical markets when the market was still very cheap and affordable. It's like buying a stock at a rock bottom price and then watching it go up. So if you're trying to invest for appreciation, then a cyclical market will be great for you, but you never want to invest for appreciation only. That should always be kind of the icing on the cake. Now, a linear market is a market where the prices don't really change that much. Like a town right outside of Nashville that I invest in quite a bit is called Clarksville, Tennessee. And it's very linear. Like, just for example, you might buy a house there for $50,000 today. That in a really hot real estate market would go up to $60,000. And then if it completely crashed, it might go down to being worth $40,000. So there's not a lot of up and down that happens in linear markets. Linear markets are not sexy. They're not exciting. No one talks about them, so they don't get a lot of attention. But guys, they are an amazing market to invest in if you want predictable cash flow. Now, you have to make sure that the markets meet all the other economical factors that I've talked about before. You're not going to buy in a linear market that's also a one-horse town where the whole thing's supported by one Chrysler plant or something like that. But other than that, as long as you check off that criteria, linear markets are great. And the interesting part is that right now, at the time of this recording in 2017, the market is peaking. It's crazy. And I watch the comments that investors make that just say, I'm just sitting on the sidelines, or I can't find any good deals. I'm not buying anything anymore right now. And I don't really understand that, because in linear markets, there's plenty of good deals where the numbers make sense from a cash flow perspective. So when these people are talking about how competitive it is and how they can't find any deals, they're really talking about that they can't find any deals inside of the cyclical markets, where the cycle is now at its peak. And they're right. Like I'm not buying anything in cyclical markets right now either, unless something comes off of my own marketing and it comes in at an amazing price. But a lot of the sellers, they know how hot the real estate market is, and they know what their property's worth, and they want a lot for it. So at this time of recording, I'm buying almost everything as far as buy and holds go in the linear markets outside of the cyclical markets. So the cool thing is, if you understand this concept, then there's no time, whether it's an up or a down market, where you cannot buy cash flow properties. You just kind of go back and forth between the two types of markets, depending on where we are right now. So the moral of the story really is that if you can buy houses at the right price in a cyclical market, like if you could buy them at the bottom or towards the middle of a cycle where you know that there's still going to be room for it to go up, but they also make sense from a cash flow perspective, then that's the best of both worlds, because you'll buy a house for 50 grand and 5 years later it'll be worth 150, but it still rents for $900 a month and you only paid 50 for it. So it makes sense as a rental. And then it just boomed in appreciation because you bought it right in a cyclical market. That's the best of both worlds, but that's not always available as an investor. So when you can't do that, when that same house already costs 150 because the cycle is peaking, you just go to the linear markets and where the $50,000 houses are still available and buy there and just focus on building up your cash flow. And then you can wait for those sexy, hot, cyclical markets to cool off, and you can re-enter them. So you don't need to freak out as a real estate investor when the market peaks. It's just a matter of you're not looking in the right place. On the next episode, I'm going to talk more about how I created a lot of my net worth by investing on the fringe of cyclical booming real estate markets, and also why I'll always be seeking out the fringe for the rest of my life as an investor. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you really like this podcast and you feel like it's helped you out, go leave me a review. I don't think I have a lot of reviews yet. It would certainly be really helpful. And if you have any questions that you want me to answer on future episodes, email me, Brian at brianelwood.net. Excuse me, that's Brian at brianelwood.net with 2 L's. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you on the next one.
Want more? Get your free copy of Brian's book that is changing real estate businesses everywhere. Just go to www.fireyourself.net. Also, register for your free virtual real estate investing online masterclass at virtualinvestingclass.com.